Hey everyone, Michelle here and welcome back to my channel. As you can see by the title of this video, today is all about my September TBR. Three of the most important people in my life are my two nieces and my nephew, and luckily for myself they were all born in different months, which means I can have them help me with my TBRs. So my youngest niece turns 10 in September, which I still can't believe because I still remember her being born. So I thought, what better way to show my love for them than to base my TBRs on their age and have them help me pick out the books that I will read. So as I said, my youngest niece turns 10, so this month I plan on reading 10 books. And I asked her to pick out 5 random numbers between 1 and 26, which is the amount of books on my physical TBR, which is just up there. And I'll put you back down now. So after this very long intro, I will show you a screenshot of the numbers she chose, the screen recording of the other 5 random numbers that I had for my other books, and then a video of me select them off the TBR. Hey everyone, so you are hopefully seeing this clip after I have shown you the screenshots of my niece's numbers and my screen recording of my random number generator. As you will have seen, the random number generator picked 2 of the same numbers that my niece did, so I had to do 7 random number generations instead of 5. These are the numbers, so my niece is in pink and I am in red. That whole shelf is my TBR, and these 2 books too. So, let's go pick the books. $19, $20, $21, $22, $23. A nice, decent selection. This is going to be fun. Book number 2 on my physical TBR is Sisters by Michelle Francis. I picked this book up because I have 3 older sisters, saw the title and thought, may as well do. In this book you follow Abby and Ellie, who when they were younger never got on, and now in their 30s they resent each other for different reasons. Abby resents Ellie for her looks and for being her mother's favourite, while Ellie resents Abby for her husband and her home on the beautiful Italian island of Elba. Abby invites Ellie to come stay at her home for a relaxing holiday and to see if they can build their relationship between each other. However, with their mother Susanna being there also, tensions rise to the surface and Ellie starts to fear that Abby and her mother are keeping a terrible secret. An incident happens and the girls realise that the only people they can trust is each other. However, this may be the biggest regret they ever do, or have I should say. Really looking forward to this book. Like I said, I picked it up just because of the title. I didn't even realise the author had the same name as me. So I'm kind of happy that this was picked for me. Book number 10 on my physical TBR is The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. In this book, you follow the daughter of a union with an outsider, Emmanuelle, who, because of her birth, leads to the downfall of her very, very proud family and who used to be well respected within the religious settlement that they live in. To try and get her family back into the good graces of everyone, Emmanuelle is like the perfect daughter. She worships the religion, she's pious. I'm going to look at my notes, I'm really sorry. Yeah, so she does her best to worship the Father, follow the holy protocol, and lead a life of submission, devotion, and conformity. She starts to feel drawn to the dark forest that surrounds her settlement, where the first prophet once went in chasing some 4 powerful witches and ended up killing them. The witches' spirits still live within the woods, and they give Emmanuelle a present, her dead mother's diary. While reading this diary, Emmanuelle finds out some secrets of her mother and realises for the settlement to change, she must change first. This was a book that I was really looking forward to reading. I was hoping to read it in October, but I am really looking forward to reading it in September instead. But it's a bit of a biggish book. I think it's nearly 500 pages. Let me just check without reading anything, spoiling myself. Oh, I was wrong, it's 356 pages, so not as big as I thought, so it should only take me a couple of days to get through. Book number 14 on my TBR is A Wicked Magic by Sasha Lawrence. In this book, you follow 2 best friends who find a spell to make them witches. But they don't realise that for every spell they use brings them one step closer to danger and puts everyone around them in danger also. I'm really looking forward to reading this book. This again was another one that I wanted to read in October. Halloween, witchy season. But yeah, really looking forward to reading this. It'll be quite nice to get into witches. You know, as you can see, I like Harry Potter. I love witch books. So yeah, another one I'm really looking forward to reading. And book number 19 on my physical TBR is The Less Dead by Denise Mina. In this book, you follow a young woman called Margot who was adopted and is now trying to find her birth family. She meets up with her birth aunt, Nikki, who tells her that just after her adoption, Margot's birth mother was murdered. Also, her birth mother was a prostitute. Ever since her murder, her aunt had been receiving letters from and threats from the murderer taunting her, and her aunt Nikki wants Margot's help to try and find out who this murderer is. This sounds really intriguing to me. It is very much an adult book. It's kind of a thriller type book, which I really like to read, and I find it really fascinating, these stories of people who have been taunted by murderers and trying to find out who it is, and yeah, I'm a bit weird like that. And book number 23, and the last book that my niece picked out for me, is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. In this book, you follow a young man called Oliver who is leaving prison after 10 years of being incarcerated for a murder he either did or didn't commit. When he leaves, the retired detective, who was the one who got him sent down, meets him and demands to know what actually happened the night of the murder. You are then taken back to when Oliver was a young actor in a school, and he realises that him and his group of friends play the same characters on stage as well as off. The teacher one day decides to change up the casting, which leads to a lot of rivalry between the group, and one day one of them is found dead. The other 6 then have to play the roles of their life to convince both themselves and the police that they are completely innocent. And now we move on to the 5 other books I will be reading this month. As you have seen, these have been chosen by a random number generator, so I had no input in this. Book number 2 is The Day We Met by Roxy Cooper. In this book, you follow Stephanie and Jamie, who meet and are destined. It's like fate thinks they should be together. Unfortunately, Stephanie is engaged to another man, and Jamie is married to his childhood sweetheart. You follow this relationship for 10 years and apparently it's described as an epic love story. I'm going to be completely honest. I do not like cheating in books. Physical, emotional, mental. If it happens, I can't give a book more than 2.5 stars. Or 3 at a push. So, while I do want to read this book, and I may enjoy the writing and the characters to an extent, if there is cheating, it won't be highly rated, which is a bit of a downer. Book number 8 on my TBR is The Foundling by Stacey Halls. In this book, you follow a young woman called Bess, who 6 years ago left her infant daughter at a London foundling hospital, always intent on coming to get her. 6 years later, she goes to get her daughter, fearing the worst that she may have died, but instead is told she was already picked up by her years before. Bess is now determined to find out who has her daughter and why. Less than a mile away from where Bess lives, you also follow a young, wealthy widow who rarely leaves her house. However, one of her closest friends, who is a doctor at the Foundling Hospital, suggests that she takes on a nursemaid for her young daughter. This widow is very hesitant to do so because she doesn't like to bring new people into her life. However, secrets from her past are coming to the forefront and are threatening to ruin the carefully built life she has made. I adored Stacey's first book, The Binding, I think. Let me check. No, that's the wrong one. No, it's not The Binding, sorry. Where's Halls? The Familiars. Here it is. So I adored Stacey's first book, The Familiars, so I'm hoping I will adore The Foundling just as much. Book number 11 on my TBR is The Rules of Magic by Alice Hoffman. This is a prequel type book to Practical Magic. I adore the Practical Magic film, so I'm hoping I will adore this prequel just as much. Again, in this book you follow 3 Owen siblings. One who can talk with birds, one who can see what everyone's thinking, and another where you don't know what his magic power is. Their mother sets them 3 rules. No walking in the moonlight, no red shoes, and no books on magic. On top of the family curse that love will destroy them. However, these 3 siblings break every single rule in an attempt to find out who they really are. I wanted to read this book and then read Practical Magic. However, Practical Magic isn't on this month's TBR, so I'm hoping I will read this book this month and then read Practical Magic in October. And book number 18 on my physical TBR is Of Curses and Kisses by Sandeya Menon. If I did butcher her name, I do apologise. This is a YA retelling of Romeo and Juliet. So there are 2 families at war. You have Princess Jasmine and Grey Emerson. Princess Jasmine finds out that the Emerson clan wants to trick her little sister. However, to get revenge, she finds out that she's going to the same school as Grey, and her plan to make him fall in love with her and for him to have his heart broken by her. I don't know why I said it that way, I apologise. As it is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, you can guess what's going to happen. They both fall in love with each other and struggle with the thought of falling in love with their family's rival. I'm so looking forward to this book. I actually got this book after I pre-ordered the second book coming out next year. So hopefully I enjoy this book as much, so I will not regret buying the second book. Fingers crossed. And the 10th and final book I will be reading this month is 8 Detectives by Alex Pavesi. I will not try and sum this book up because I attempted to and I butchered it. So I will just read you the blurb. All murder mysteries follow a simple set of rules. In the 1930s, Grant McAllister, a mathematics professor turned author, worked them out, hiding their secrets in a book of crime stories. Then Grant disappeared. 30 years later, ambitious editor Julia Hart arrives on a secluded island. She intends to republish these mysteries, and she's finally tracked Grant down. But there's something curious about his 7 murderous tales. The story's secrets seem to offer clues to a real crime, a mystery that's remained unsolved for 30 years. Julia's come looking for answers, but now she's locked in a battle of wits with a dangerously clever adversary who wrote the book on murder. So you may or may not be aware, but the 31st of August this year is a bank holiday in the UK. I am filming this on the 30th of August, the day it will be on YouTube. If I finish the book I'm currently reading now, this will be the first book I start tomorrow, and I will be counting it in September. I don't care, because I really, really, really want to read it. As you can tell by the books, I tend to like thriller, crime type books, so right up my alley. And how gorgeous is that cover? So yeah, that's my 10th and last book. So there are all 10 books I will be hoping to read in September. I should be able to get through them, because there doesn't seem to be one where it's quite big or I'm not interested, apart from the Day We Met book. So hopefully it won't take me too long to get through any of them. However, as you will see in my August wrap up, which will include these books here, there was 1 or 2 on there where, despite the fact I liked it, I just couldn't get into it. So hopefully that won't happen in September, because in October my number goes up, because it's the eldest niece's birthday. But September is all about the youngest niece. Even so, I will hopefully like all the books she's read. I know she will be watching this video, so you know who you are. I'm not going to say your name, because obviously privacy. But Auntie Shelley loves the books that you picked for her, and she will let you know what she thinks of them all. So until next week, everybody, I will say my goodbyes, and the reason it's shaking is because I have it on a unsteady surface. So until next weekend, I will see you all later. Bye.